Hello, everyone. I'm Sonal Surana, and we are here to talk about how to make the most of your mentoring session. Mentoring is a topic close to my heart. Having seen the power of its magic firsthand for many years now, I am a big advocate of its tremendous impact on shaping people's careers and lives. So I look forward to sharing some of my learnings with you today. What will we talk about? Why mentoring? Once you decide to begin the journey, how do you find the right mentor? More importantly, how do you be a right mentee? How do you make the most of your mentoring journey? And what are the common mistakes to watch out for? So, this one line here summarizes what mentoring is all about. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulder of giants. We all know while it's wise to learn from experience, it's wiser to learn from the experience of others. You cannot live long enough to make all the mistakes yourself. So, having a mentor by your side at different stages of life and career can be a powerful way to advance yourselves. Mentors can provide a much needed outside perspective. They can challenge or affirm your ideas and guide you through rough spots. They can truly be catalysts to your journey. As we can see here, certainly not a new concept. It's more of a timeless concept. Be it Krishna Arjun or a few others, it brings to life for you the profound impact having a wise mentor with you has on your life, guiding you through actions to take, decisions to make, paths to choose. Let's get to some statistics now. I belong to the field of data and analytics, so have to bring some numbers in. So, greater than 75% of executives credit mentors for helping them reach their current level of success. And yet, greater than 60% of professionals are without a mentor. One more stat you don't see here is that mentees are 5x more likely to be promoted than those without a mentor. I am completing 18 years of my professional career, and I myself was in the 60% group until about 5 years ago. I certainly got onto the train late, but boy, am I glad I did. So, my formal mentoring journey began by accident. I had a senior leader visiting India. I had my scheduled one on one with him. I had been driving a large scale transformation initiative for him. And as was my tendency, I was covering off some business content, and he said, Sonal, let's take a different path to our discussion today. You are doing some fantastic work. How are you feeling? How do you see your career shaping up? I have noticed XYZ about you, and I'd like to help you. So, why don't you make a one pager? Talk about your experience there, talk about your strengths there, and when you get a chance to meet different leaders, always carry this with you. So in my organization, that's a best practice, which I was glad to know, and I think this is how my mentoring journey really began. While mine began by chance, as you think about finding a right mentor, what do you look out for? I think the big question to ask yourself is, what do you want to get better at right now? Is it a current job role? Are you looking to get better at a specific skill or two? Is it career guidance you're looking for? Ideas about what your next position might look like? Are you a new manager and something specific on leadership competency that you're looking to add to yourself? Are you looking for networking opportunities or general, sort of life career advice? Each of these kinds of areas of skill set will come at the part of your mentor. And that's where I think you have to really reflect and think about what you really want to get out of the journey. Having tested the power of it myself, I consciously sought out formal mentoring. Once I made my one pager, I really reached out, and just by being intentional, I developed a broader network of seasoned leaders. About 2 years ago, I got promoted, and a few things happened all together at once. A month into my new role, my leader who got me promoted left the organization. The pandemic hit. We got moved, our entire unit got moved to a new organization. I had to deal with a tremendous amount of change management. And having just stepped into a larger new role, never before did I need mentoring like I did in that time. And that's where I reached out for formal mentoring. For me, there were three areas I was really looking actively for support. One, having stepped into a larger role, I was looking for support on how do I be a more strategic leader and how do I influence and rally others outside of my team on the strategy I'd like to drive forward. So that was sort of one theme. Second, again, I stepped up to lead a very large team. So, how do you drive engagement with a large team? How do you really drive motivation? What are the specifics to think about? That was sort of a second area of focus. And, for me, given that stage of my journey and really reflecting on what I need, uh, and seeking out mentoring with that respect, I think it really, really helped me at the start of a new journey to really, learn from the experience of leaders who've been there, done that, and are helping me with proactively with things to think about and actions I might take. And once you have a mentee, once you have a mentor, and you reflect on how you'd like to shape the journey, I think being a mentee means more than just sort of listening for wisdom that might be bestowed on you or waiting for a career or job opportunity. That formula will not work. In fact, for the experience to be successful, you too have to do some things you will need to do on your end to ensure you're getting the most out of the relationship. So good mentoring relationships don't just happen. Successful ones are those where really the mentee becomes the driver. You have to want it, seek it, nourish it. Closed mouths don't really get fed. Don't expect your mentors to know how to mentor you. Get into the driver's seat. So let's talk about what might be a few things for you to keep in mind as you begin your mentoring journey. Um, the very first one, take responsibility for your own learning. So your mentor is always there to give you the right tools and guidance to succeed, but the rest is up to you. Mentors don't hand you jobs or promotions or connections. Instead, they provide you the direction needed to acquire those things for yourself. You have to take charge by asking the right questions and actively engaging in meaningful conversations. Your mentor can only help you if your goals are known. Spend time establishing longer term career goals. What do you want to be doing in 5 years? And then establish with your mentor what your near term objectives are for getting there. Second, very important, develop trust. You will both need to learn to trust each other, and this means being held accountable for your actions. While you're relying on your mentor to push you towards opportunities to gain new skills and engage new networks of people, they are also relying on you to fulfill your own promises. This means completing tasks that are asked of you between meetings and dedicating time each week to be present at the meetings you set up within the relationship. Next, be respectful of your mentor's time. Make sure you establish the channels of communication openly with them, how best to reach them, what times are preferred, and always then show up. And second very connected point is come to each meeting with a prepared agenda. While it's much easier to come to a meeting and just listen to your mentor share all the industry details they know, you should also come prepared with your own agenda for the meeting. It is often up to the mentee really to initiate and move the connection along. Have short term and long term goals prepared for them to discuss and have your questions ready for them to answer. Tell them what you are hoping to sort of accomplish meeting to meeting. Next, cannot emphasize this more, be open with your needs and be vulnerable with your mentor. You want to be open with your needs by having open communication. While there's nothing wrong in soaking in information provided by your mentor, make it very clear what goals you have and what you are hoping to get out of the relationship. This will not only shape conversations and discussions during meetings, but it will allow your mentor to work on these goals outside of your meetings. This will really be helpful for you. Especially, on the vulnerability part, you didn't go through all the trouble of finding a mentor, preparing your questions, and committing your time just to tiptoe around the issues on your mind, right? Share the real emotions around your questions. Being vulnerable will also help you better connect with your mentor and will get them to the real root of your concerns. And lastly, I would say reflect, act, and circle back. This is crucial for you as you really think about sustaining a mentoring relationship. Always reach out and close the loop on the actions you've aligned on, and recommendations you've acted on. And lastly, really show gratitude and nurture the relationship. See what it is that you might offer, um, you know to the mentor. So just for, one of the examples I would share, uh, in the relationship, in my mentoring relationship, I often try and find out common areas where I might be able to actually add value to the mentor. What might I bring to the discussion that might be of interest for them? What are my strengths that might be connection points for them? And in that way, you are always able to keep the conversation alive, interesting, authentic, and you always also add value from your side proactively. It goes a long way in really sort of nurturing the relationship longer term. So, in summary, I think those were the key themes to keep in mind, but really a successful mentoring cycle. What do you do before, during, and after mentoring? So, before, being very clear on goals, having an agenda always, ready with your questions, and really taking meeting notes so you can refer them, from one conversation to another, and be tight about your discussions. During a mentoring session, building trust, being vulnerable, we spoke about how important that is, active listening, and summarizing next steps. And I would also add sort of contributing back to the mentor if you find ways to do that. And after, always reflect on the discussion, identify sort of steps to take actions on what you've aligned on, circle back and close the loop, and nurture the relationships, show gratitude, offer anything that you are able to bring to the table back. So this really is like a summary of the discussion we've had, and hopefully gives you a broad flavor of the full cycle. A few common mistakes to watch out for: building a one-sided relationship. We just spoke about that. How do you add value back? Having unclear goals, not knowing what to talk or talking too much, not sharing enough, hiding your true struggles and weaknesses, no defined endpoint or periodic review, irregular and postponed meetings, confusion of roles, no follow through, not questioning is it working, right? Sometimes not every mentoring relationship is set up for success, and do question if you are getting out of it what you're really hoping to. And then otherwise, fine tune, tweak, or look for then other mentors who might be more appropriate for what you need at that time. In closing, I would only say, what would you miss out on if you did not ask? Mentoring is really, sometimes for a reason, sometimes for a season, and sometimes for lifetime. Having experienced the power of mentoring in last few years, I wish I had started my journey sooner. So I would definitely urge you, take control of your life, be intentional, fast track yourself onto the path of success. We all need someone who inspires us to do better than we know how. So let's ask for the push in the right direction. All the very best.